There is something important that many people struggling with chest fat need to hear, because the fitness world often creates confusion around this issue and makes you believe that doing more push-ups or more chest exercises will burn chest fat directly. But that is simply not how the human body works. And understanding this truth clearly is the first step toward transforming the way your chest looks. You cannot choose a single part of your body and tell the fat in that area to burn away just because you are training that muscle. And this includes your chest as well. Because the body burns fat from everywhere, slowly and evenly depending on hormones, nutrition, metabolism, and overall activity level, rather than from one specific location. So when people perform hundreds of push-ups or chest fly movements, hoping the fat on their chest will melt away, they simply end up building more muscle underneath the fat while the fat itself remains. And this often leaves them frustrated and confused because they feel like they are working hard but not seeing the changes they hoped for. Before you can fix the problem, it is important to understand what the problem actually is, because there are two different conditions that create the appearance of man boobs. One is called gynecomastia, which is simply an excess of fat stored on the chest, and this type can absolutely improve through proper workouts, fat loss, better posture, and overall muscle development. The other one is called true gynecomastia, which is caused by glandular breast tissue under the nipple area, and this type cannot be removed by exercise alone because it is not fat, it is actual tissue. However, even if someone has some degree of glandular tissue, it is fully possible to change the appearance of their chest by building muscle in the right places, reducing overall body fat, correcting posture, and shaping the chest so it looks firmer, flatter, and more lifted. This is why understanding the proper training approach matters so much. One of the biggest mistakes that many men make when trying to fix their chest is focusing too much on the lower chest. Although building the lower chest is helpful once you have already developed a balanced chest structure, doing this too early actually pushes the fat and tissue outward and downward, making the chest look even heavier and more saggy. This happens because the lower chest muscles grow underneath the fat, pushing it out instead of pulling it up and tightening the top area. This is why plastic surgeons and sports scientists often recommend focusing more on the upper chest, especially for people who feel the appearance of their chest is soft, round, or droopy. When the upper chest becomes stronger and thicker, it lifts the entire area upward, creating a more square and masculine look. And this single shift can dramatically improve the shape of the chest even before much fat loss happens. However, as important as chest training is, you need to remember that fat loss is a full-body process, and no exercise can force fat to leave the chest alone. The most effective way to reduce fat, including chest fat, is through movements that activate many muscles at once, because the more muscles you use at the same time, the more calories you burn both during the workout and for many hours afterward. Exercises like squats, deadlifts, rows, and even bench presses raise your heart rate, challenge your nervous system, activate large muscle groups, and trigger a hormonal response that helps your body burn fat more efficiently. One of the most interesting things research has shown is that heavy compound exercises can increase testosterone significantly within just a few minutes after training. This matters because the fat stored around your chest and stomach contains an enzyme called aromatase, and this enzyme turns testosterone into estrogen. The more fat you carry, the more this conversion happens, lowering testosterone and increasing estrogen, which then leads to more fat stored around the chest. So building muscle through larger movements helps break this cycle by increasing testosterone, reducing fat, and improving the hormonal environment that controls where your body stores fat. Now that this foundation is clear, we can move into the exercises that actually shape your chest correctly. One of the best exercises for the upper chest is the incline dumbbell press, but it must be done at the right angle because most gym benches are placed at 45 degrees, which actually targets the shoulders more than the upper chest. A 30-degree incline is the ideal angle for maximum upper chest activation. Dumbbells are also chosen over barbells because they allow a deeper range of motion, a stronger stretch at the bottom, and a better squeeze at the top. They also force both sides of the chest to work independently, which prevents one dominant side from taking over. The movement itself should be done with proper form by setting the bench angle correctly, sitting with your feet flat on the ground, bringing the dumbbells to shoulder height, retracting the shoulder blades, and pressing upward in a controlled way, making sure the descent is slow and the press is strong. The goal is not to simply move heavy weights, but to feel the upper chest doing the majority of the work. This creates the lift and shape that significantly changes how the chest appears even before major fat loss takes place. Another exercise that plays a surprisingly powerful role in fixing chest fat is the deadlift. While it does not target the chest directly, it produces a large hormonal and metabolic response that supports fat loss everywhere, including the chest. Because the deadlift uses nearly every muscle in the body, it increases calorie burn during and after the workout, and it improves testosterone levels quickly. This helps reduce the hormonal imbalance caused by high body fat and supports a healthier metabolism that burns fat more easily. Deadlifting must be done with perfect form to avoid injury, so starting with lighter weight and practicing the mechanics is crucial. Once the movement feels natural and controlled, the weight can increase slowly over time. Another important part of reshaping the chest is using exercises that activate the chest fibers in the direction they naturally run. The upper chest fibers move diagonally, so a cable crossover from low to high follows that exact line of motion. Free weights only push downward because of gravity, so cables offer a unique advantage by pulling the arms in a diagonal path that matches the way the upper chest contracts naturally. This exercise is done by setting the pulleys at the lowest position, stepping forward, leaning slightly into the movement, and pulling the handles upward and inward until they meet in front of the upper chest. A strong squeeze at the top, followed by a slow, controlled stretch downward, gives the upper chest a deep contraction that helps build shape and definition. However, fixing chest appearance is not only about fat and muscle. Posture plays a major role too. Many people spend hours sitting, working at a desk, or using their phones, which leads to rounded shoulders and a weak upper back. This posture naturally pushes the chest forward and downward, making it look heavier and more pronounced. Strengthening the upper back with an exercise like face pulls helps pull the shoulders back into alignment, lifting the chest and improving the overall silhouette instantly. A strong upper back makes the chest appear tighter, flatter, and more athletic, even before any muscle growth or fat loss occurs. Training frequency matters as well. Doing this workout around 2 times a week is enough for most people, but those who recover well can do it 3 times weekly. What matters most is allowing at least 48 hours between chest-focused sessions so the muscles can recover and grow. Training the chest every day will only exhaust the muscles and slow down progress. Even more important than the workout is nutrition, because if someone eats more calories than their body needs, they will continue gaining fat, even if they train hard. To reduce visible chest fat, a small calorie deficit of 300 to 500 calories per day is ideal. Eating plenty of protein around 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight helps support muscle growth and keeps hunger under control. Once nutrition and training are in place, the key to long-term progress is progressive overload, meaning you increase weight, repetitions, or intensity gradually each week, so the body continues to adapt and improve. At the end of this journey, the real transformation comes from consistency and the willingness to commit. If someone follows this approach with patience for 12 weeks, taking a photo before starting and another after the program, the difference in chest shape, posture, confidence, and overall body composition will be noticeable and significant. The chest can look firmer, flatter, more lifted, and more masculine, not because of endless push-ups, but because of a smart strategy that combines proper training, correct posture, hormonal balance, fat loss, and progressive overload.